She looks like she doesn't know how to get out of there. No, she doesn't. There she goes. It looks vastly different down here than the last time we were here. Vastly. Back then you couldn't see the log. Just that side. And this pond was full of water. I can't say that it's not right now because of all the grasses growing up, but definitely down. I've been pulling fur out of her for 6 weeks, no, 2 months at least. Back at the end of May, I brushed her every day for a week. Finally got it. No, it just keeps coming. Fringe around her neck. Things like this, it just keeps letting go. And they turn a light, dark gray, lighter than her healthy fur. And I can't resist getting in there and pulling out those clumps. Her coat looks fantastic for the most part. Right now she's wet. But I'm very proud of her, of it. It's the best she's looked for a few years, actually. But it won't stop. It keeps, and I can't stop. I felt the humidity coming up this morning. There's a 90% chance of rain for today. That was going to be 80% for tomorrow, but they moved it ahead a day. Walking over to the field and back. It's only in the mid-70s, but Jesus, you wouldn't know it. Get away from it. We got back here a few minutes ago from the field, and oh, she had 2 or 3, well, 3 at least, deer flies buried down in. When we were down at the pond, she had big deer fly right on the end of her nose. Squished it with my thumb and it exploded. Blood. 1 drop of it landed right next to her eye. Poor kid. She doesn't seem to feel those that are biting her. Unlike me, I got one on my shoulder, began to feel it, slapped it and killed it. But it's the season. Trip, stumble, and fall. I'm back out here to cut up some more sections to get back to the splitting area. And I'm hoping I can get Chuck to come over in the next few days, even this week sometime, to bring the Ranger over with the little trailer and I can get them hauled. And let the cursing commence. Oh, poop. Don't stand on it. If there's one branch hidden in the grass,
don't stand on it.
I don't know what to do with that one. Do I take it off? Try to take it here, and then the whole thing would be loose. But when I cut through that, what are the forces at work? Is the weight of this being held up by this. So if I cut here and I get 3/4 of the way through, it's going to tighten up on me, and the chainsaw is held really tightly. Or this branch is tightly held against this popple tree over here. It's pushing against there, so that means there's forces on that pushing this toward me. So if I cut this off here, and the other factor is this. This popple tree is holding this branch. So do I just try to take this branch alone? Is it going to come swinging out at me? I could take this one probably with no worries, but then what? Or do I cut this popple and see what happens? I am not seeing an easy answer to any of this. And I'm alone out here. And if I get knocked down and hurt badly, there's nobody that knows to help me. I guess that is a significant factor that I'm just now considering. Shoot. Oh, but I'm so tempted. I want to make headway on this damn thing. Open me up for a lot more wood than just these little piddly things. Yeah, now I did it. Some force let go and grab that chain just like that. It's not coming out of there without wedges. That's more work than a chainsaw. And this blade doesn't feel as legendarily sharp. I think it's beginning to open up, or I'm wishfully hoping This saw is made in Finland. I've got a smaller bow saw that I've used for years. It's incredibly sharp and capable, but it's a little bit small for this. Come on. It is opening up, so it's gonna fall away, and this is just gonna, the saw is gonna fall out, and I'm gonna do a dance in the aisle. You can probably hear it creaking. You see the opening now, the gap? Triumph. Okay, continue on. Okay, actually I could cut. I do want to salvage these. And that one. And I'm glad I didn't try to get this thing down, cut that little stub off, because I noticed a little bit later, oh, this whole tree is hanging up on that, the popple. And then to top that off, ha ha ha, is this thing up above. And that's really hanging right directly over me. That's an offshoot of this one. So anything I do to jostle this thing loose is going to bring that one down too, onto me. I don't want that. All involved would rather not have that. Note to self, make sure the lid to the water jug is not cross-threaded. Well, that was a real nail biter out there. Out there. And it still is. I've studied it quite a bit. When I was finished picking things up and getting ready for Chuck to come over with the Ranger and the little trailer, well, it occurred to me, I don't have 2 full loads. I need to get more. I'm in no hurry to get that hauled back here. But then when I began looking at things and thinking about it, well, yeah, there's really not any more I can do alone until we get those mystery trunks unlocked. And I studied them for 20 minutes here before I came back now. It's a puzzle, because I know there are forces working on just about everything out there. Every branch, every popple tree that's holding things up even. There's a big birch branch coming out of the backside of that main trunk that I'm trying to get loose. And when I discovered that, shortly before I came in, it is leaning against a popple tree that it took down into a 45-degree angle the night everything toppled over. And there seems to me to be a whole lot of that entire tree's weight on that popple. So why don't we just go around the other side of that and cut that popple down, and then it will release everything to that's real iffy. All of it's very iffy. I'd be very curious to have a tree expert out here. Guy who does this kind of situation for a living and has been around and has deer flies, mosquitoes. Sweet girl, is Suki I'm talking to here. She came sort of semi-running over to me with 2 deer flies on her nose and 1 on her head. Help me. If we could get a tree felling expert out here who could examine all of the potential trouble areas, he might take one look at every factor out there and say, oh yeah, why don't we just do this? And then he does it and it works out fine. Or he does it and hadn't noticed one little factor that kills him. That was the woodpecker flying over again that I talked about a couple nights ago. I watched him last night again, flying through here and landing up in the tree that he's gotten a new residence in. What if you held the saw upside down so the curve is going the other way? Yeah.